Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from IBG models. It's molded in 1/72 scale, so here we have a tank model. It's Italian medium tank and it's M11/39. So here we have the kit number 72122, and what I have here on the table, it's actually the final shape of this release. So it's something what you will get if you order it from official IBG models website. And first of all, the box size is not that huge. After all, the scale is not that big either, but we have really nice box art here, and here you can check comparison with my hand. Then on the side we have also some other kits from the same brand. I reviewed them also. You can find it easily on the YouTube channel which you are watching at the moment. And on the opposite side you can see 3 marking options which are included here, so we will talk more about them when we will be checking the assembly manual, because that's where they print the marking guides usually. So we talked about the box, now we can move to the plastic sprues, and the first one is the sprue E. So this one is dedicated to the drivetrain parts. Obviously it is supplied in 2 pieces, because here we have the drivetrain bogies, as you can notice, and these ones are looking good. I'm just checking in the meantime another sprue by myself, so I can see that the leaf springs are also fine, so they are nicely detailed from the front side. Why I'm saying the front side, because if I flip them from the back side and throw the sprue off my hand, but here you can see that from the opposite side it's not as clearly defined as what we have here, but I think it's not an important thing, because basically the visible part has a bit more fine detailing. We also have thin attachment points. I'm just checking if they are going onto the parts edges, but they are not, so it should be relatively easy to get all of this stuff in place, as long as you have the necessary, let's say, patience, because it will be a bit cumbersome procedure. Next we continue with the hull panel here. So as you can see, it is molded as a single piece part. We have some guiding elements for it, and we have attachment points from both sides, so it's also something expected. And then we have the large sprue, which is marked as a C, and here it is interesting. If I zoom out a bit, you can see that it's slightly bent. I'm not sure why it happened like this, but I hope that this top hull section remains a bit straight, let's say, so that you won't have to bend it in order to get the right shape. But as far as you can see, it's slightly bent still. It should be a bit to the bottom. Nevertheless, here we have the hatches pre-molded. So if I zoom in back so that you can take a closer look, we have the hatches pre-molded, unfortunately, and you won't be able to open them on your model. So this is something you can forget about it. And here we continue also with the drive sprockets and also some minor parts for the turret. So even though the finished model will be quite small, still we get a lot of fine features, and that's a good chance to play with some weathering and also with some details, maybe some scratch building, so that you can replicate more. Note that the top hull section also has these large guiding pins, so it will be easy to align them together. Next we continue with this sprue, which carries the rear hull section panel, or maybe even whole section. So here you can take a closer look. We have the hatches pre-molded, but in my opinion it looks decent, and here you can take also a look at the guiding or attachment points, not the guiding elements, but they are placed also on the edges. And here is the one-piece turret. So again, it's cool that it's molded as a one-piece element, so you don't have to work trying to align these elements together. Obviously the top, front and bottom are molded separately, but this is something what is easy to install. And again, you can see the attachment points are placed on the bottom edge, so you can just carefully saw it off and you will be good to go. Next we have another plastic sprue, which is large. So here we have the combo of the superstructure, as far as I can see, and also the lower hull section. So again, I think it's worth bringing it even closer. So first of all, the lower hull section is molded as a one-piece part. Obviously the rear armor wall is molded separately, but this is something what is easier than trying to combine these hull panels together. And we also have nice rivets here, so it looks good. And here, as for the superstructure, if I can call it this way, here we have some separate panels, so you'll have to glue them in place. but otherwise it works fine, and we have this guiding element for the turret, I guess. So it's just a matter of getting everything together. Last but not the least is the combo of the tracks, or pair of the tracks. So here you can take a closer look. They are molded together with the drivetrain. In my opinion, this is a very smart design, because here you won't have to do a tedious assembly of the separate track links, or even the track lengths. They will be cumbersome for some modelers, but here you get it as a really simple solution, which is easy to install and it's ready to be installed, and maybe it can be even painted separately of the tank of the model, and then you can just install it on the model with the necessary colors in place. It's already your decision. Next, if you thought that all of this stuff looks easy, then here is another thing which will make it a bit more spicy for you, because here we have the unpainted P thread. As you can see, we have the really thin and small parts. You can notice the size in comparison with my fingertips, but I think this is somewhat important for a 1/72nd scale, and of course it's cool that IBG includes it as a standard bonus. You don't have to pay anything extra. Next, we also have the decals. So I'm not sure why we have two decal sheets. So here, as you can see, we have the main symbols. It's coming from TechMod, so that's why the printing quality looks decent. But if I place it here on the table and show you the next one, I guess what we get here is the errata for the symbols of the kangaroo. So you will be using those ones instead of the ones which are printed on the main decal sheet. Maybe the direction of the kangaroos was wrong, because I can see that they're looking in the slightly different direction. Next, we have assembly manual. So here I'm closing the lenses a bit, and let's zoom out so that you can see the whole brochure. Okay, so this is a typical IBG brochure. We have short history note here. We also have the address of the manufacturer here on the bottom page, and here we continue with the parts map. So assembly process starts straight away with the drivetrain. Here you can see that we are working around this one-piece track elements. We install the drivetrain bogies, and we install also the drive sprockets and idlers, and then you're good to go to install it onto the hull. But first you have to assemble the hull, so that's why we start here by combining the lower section together with the top one. Then we continue with various tools and also exhausts being installed onto the hull. And by the way, here you can see also the superstructure in place already. Next, we install the drivetrain, which we already assembled, as you remember. What is interesting is that we have the P mesh for the bottom section of the tank. I wonder if it will be visible on the finished model, but we also have some fine elements which will be attached from both sides, and also we assemble the turret here. So we have the separate hatch, but as far as you can see here, it is suggested to be assembled in a closed position, but I guess if it's separated, nothing stops you from opening it and maybe placing some figurine inside. Next, we have first marking option here. It's from North Africa, September 1940. Quite, I would say, sophisticated camouflage, because all of these angular shapes in 1/72nd scale kit, which is like this in form or in the size, it will be quite a work. Here we continue with obviously simpler version. It's the kangaroo one, and it's from Africa as well. It's January 1941. One more from Somalia, 1941. Again, we have the camouflage, but it's not as sophisticated as the first one. And here we have also the small ad for other kits which are reviewed, and also the Hataka Hobby paints, which you can use for these builds. So overall, we get a really nice tank kit in 1/72nd scale. I would say it might be also a good opportunity for beginners to try out the small scale tank together with the P parts. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion of what do you think about such models. Write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Stay tuned for more videos, and bye.